Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one. So today, guys, we had another little green day here, backed off the JOLTS jobs report that we had yesterday that caused the very big rally in markets. So today, also a green day, but a few names pulling back ever so slightly. The market wasn't 100% green, but still some decent rotation overall. So quite happy, basically a non-event in terms of macro. Tomorrow, we do have some PCE inflation numbers, which is another big one that the Fed is going to be looking at. So we'll see how that plays into the markets tomorrow. But as of today, our daily uptrends are continuing here. We also had some earnings from CRM and CrowdStrike, which we'll be getting into very, very shortly. But as a whole, guys, very decent day if I do say so myself. So you can see here, SPY up 0.41%, QQQ up 0.56%. If you want to take a look at the heat map here, you will see that today was pretty much a broad market rally, right? Well, not so much a rally because we didn't go up that much, but still some decent broad market performance here. As you can see on the one-day relative performance here, most of our major indexes were in the green, only healthcare and utilities pulling back ever so slightly. And on a one-week relative, guys, we are still 100% positive across the entire market. So you really do love to see that. So let's get into some earnings real quick. Then we'll go over to our technical analysis on our major indexes, our major tech names, and no portfolio change for today. So we'll save that for tomorrow. So let's get into it first, guys. We're going to tackle SalesForce. So SalesForce, very, very beautiful after hours performance. You can see here up almost 6% in the after hours off the back of a double beat. Now, SalesForce, I'll remind you guys, if you hadn't seen, SalesForce is still in relation to all-time highs. We still have some decent discounts here, right? We were pretty much 31% after the earnings, 27.5% off the all-time highs. SalesForce is a very, very decent company, in my opinion. It's a Dow Jones company as well, right? And they have pretty much, they're one of the biggest companies in terms of customer relationship management software. So a little example, when I used to work at the two banks that I used to work at, both of them used SalesForce technology to keep track of customer interactions. And so everybody who would deal with the same customer over and over, the customer, let's say the customer has a problem or something like that, you don't really have to ask your colleagues or whatnot what was done with the customer. You can log it all in the SalesForce technology. It provides pretty much a suite where you can essentially see a customer's entire profile, all of his interactions with the company, and it's entirely customizable by the firm that you work for, right? So the firm is able to ask Salesforce for custom elements that they want in terms of analytics and data for said customers. Very, very, very powerful tools. And I used to really enjoy using it because it used to make a lot of my work, what I used to do on a daily basis, very, very, very easy and streamlined. So Salesforce, always been one of my favorite companies. I do regret not having picked up Salesforce in the lower $100 range over the course of last year, but still representing some decent risk to reward. And this is a company, guys, where they never really failed to deliver here, always increasing revenue. But the profit margins for Salesforce, for me personally, have always been slightly low in my opinion, right? You can see that the net profit margins, when they're not slightly even negative, they are pretty much very, very, very marginal. But we did have a double beat here today on Salesforce, guys. You can see this real quick. EPS absolutely smashed, right, by almost 12%. And the revenue here up by almost 1% on a quarter over quarter basis. So very, very, very good outperformance. You can see that what was that due for, guys, is once again, in line with everything this year, pretty much, we are leading our customers into the new AI era. So the company did focus here on the new AI wave in terms of how they can continue to deliver a better customer experience. And most of their customers, guys, is they do business to business, not so much business to consumer, although they do a little bit of that. But AI and big data management is going to be crucial for them to implement so that the firms that they serve are able to access the data faster and have more analytics, right? So they said during the quarter, Salesforce said AI enhancements to its Sales Cloud and Service Cloud applications were available for $50 per person per month on top of existing costs. So it doesn't cost them a lot to do, but this could be a very, very good revenue bump. And also the margins usually on AI software, especially subscription services, are pretty decent. So, and it announced an AI cloud that will encompass tools for marketing and data analysis. So another little pivot here by another one of the largest companies in the world here, trying to utilize AI more and more. I do like this company, guys. I still think it provides good risk to reward. In terms of a short-term trade, Salesforce doesn't really move that quickly, even though it is a tech stock. But in terms of a long-term portfolio hold, guys, I really don't have any objection to this. They are still growing very, very fast, but hopefully they will eventually be able to bring more and more money to the bottom line, and hopefully AI is going to enable them to do that. That's the only thing I have against this company. Profit margins, not enough for me. And now CrowdStrike as well, one of our companies reporting earnings today, and they as well, double beat here. You can see beat on EPS, massive beat as a matter of fact, by almost 33%, and revenue up ever so slightly 1%, but it was a double beat, and they did increase guidance for the remainder of the year. You can see here on the income statement, you can see how fast this company has been able to grow revenue, and it's not stopping, growing revenues in excess of 20-25% per year. However, they are still net margin at a loss despite last quarter, and this quarter coming in slightly profitable, guys. We'll see how they end on the annual basis. But a problem that a lot of these tech companies have had recently, right, especially the SaaS companies, software as a service, is it's very tough for them once they're starting to expand to maintain profit. Most of that money gets reinvested into the business, which is not a bad thing so long as they can support the growth here. CrowdStrike currently still pretty much 50% off of all-time highs. I like CrowdStrike as a stock. It is one of our leading cybersecurity stocks in the space. Them and Datadog are doing a pretty good job. Zscaler as well is one too, although they have different lines of business. But CrowdStrike, I do like this stock a lot. Not really the market for it. However, yet in my opinion, this is why they've probably been held back. Guys, companies that aren't profitable in an interest rate environment such as whatnot, of course, they're not going to get the love that they deserve here, right? So pretty much flat ever since last earnings, pretty much flat, but on a 52-week basis, right? If you look from the beginning of January, they are still up roughly 60% on the year. So some decent performance on the yearly basis, but Wall Street just not favoring these stocks, which is why you're not seeing them really truly rally unless they start showing some massive profitability here. So CrowdStrike as well have actually come out and said that they are trying to use AI. However, wasn't really a big factor for them. Look here, the AI-powered Falcon platform's native capabilities across our cloud, identity, and next-gen SEIM businesses are unique in the market. He says that these areas contributed to well over $500 million in ending annual recurring revenue. Recurring revenue being the key word. So a decent little play for them here, but I'll remind you guys, on a revenue basis, what are they going for here, right? Revenue increased to 731 million from 535. Very, very, very big beat here. And anticipating here annual recurring revenue of 3 billion here. So that is very, very decent here. Company is growing outstanding, and they did lift our guidance here for the remainder of the year, right? Looking to the full year, management is calling for 3.03 billion to 3.04 billion and 280 to 284 in adjusted EPS. Analysts were looking for slightly lower, right? 3.02 versus 3.03 and 2.39 in EPS. So very good job beating on the EPS, guys, but still not able to bring much of that money to the bottom line. So hopefully the recurring revenue powered by these AI facilities here are going to enable them to do that. So very, very decent play on CrowdStrike. However, I am not yet ready, even though the technicals do look fairly stable at these levels. I'm just not ready to build a position in these stocks. There are other stocks that are profitable, that are cheaper in terms of valuation than these, such as PayPal, in my opinion, right? So that's why I'm not really touching these stocks yet. Although on a technical basis, it could be argued that we may be preparing for a breakout. So that's pretty much it for our earnings, guys. Let's get right into the major indexes and then do our major tech names. So starting off right from the bat here, S&P 500 here, up 0.41%. Our daily bounces continue. I had the weekly chart pulled up here, but look now, guys. We have created a lot of space. I like it. I really like this, right? Anything above 435 is just going to be for a daily higher low upon pullback. You now have decent space above the moving averages here. You can also notice that your daily MACD is curling up. So we'll see how the inflation's numbers come in tomorrow here, but definitely have some decent space for a pullback if they're not as good as expected here. And obviously to the upside, guys, we have now taken back a sizable percentage of the move. If you put a fib on this right here, we're going to zoom in for this. You can see that now we're pretty much up into the 70% range. So the bulls, off of this weekly drop, the bulls in just 2 weeks able to take back 70% of the bear drop. Leads me to believe if bears do take over into potential weekly consolidation, just going to be looking for the weekly lower high for potential further continuation. That's if they pull back. Can they V-shape this? 100% they can V-shape this. Why? Because anything above 409 was always looking for your weekly higher low for further continuation. So we'll see how it goes, but either they're going to V-shape this and do it in one step, or at worst, we may have to two-step it here, but I really like the size of this bounce. QQQ, same thing. Really like the size of this bounce on QQQ. Daily uptrend, obviously confirmed as of yesterday. Anything above 358.50 is just going to be for a higher low. Above the moving averages here, you can see down here, MACD is curling to the upside as well. So momentum indicating that the bulls are really set here, and it's going to take a lot for the bears to reverse that, right? So decent levels here. And if we put the fib on the QQQs, you will see that now, based off the all-time highs, right, we are now pretty much also not quite 70% here, I would say, but at least about 65% of the entire bear move has been taken back. So you really love to see that. Great performance by the bulls. I will remind you, we were still looking anything above 311 was just looking for your weekly higher low, right? So can the bulls one-shot this and V-shape? Yes. Why? Because the bears never took back that much of the move, and they barely were able to crush the 12 EMA, right? So still looking for bull continuation, but if the bulls can't get it done, have a decent opportunity here to get it done in two steps. They've now created some decent space. I like it, guys. I really like it. XLF financials pushing up a bit, but giving it back in the end of the day. That's fine. Don't forget, we are always looking for the daily higher low. Daily upswing is nice, but we never set the daily higher low similar to what SPY did, right? You can see these charts look significantly different. So XLF never able to actually confirm our daily uptrend. So we're going to be looking out for that, guys. But now at this point, anything above 33.60 is just going to be looking for the daily higher low for potential upside continuation. I like the fact that we're above the moving averages, and especially on the daily, this green line right here, that's your 200-day EMA here. You can see at the bottom of my screen, your MACD right here is trying to cross as well. So the bulls setting up nicely, guys, on the weekly. What does that look like? Well, we were always looking anything above 32.50 was your weekly higher low. So daily uptrend hasn't been set yet, right? So I can't say that the weekly bounce is underway, but in this case, having put in so much space in relation to our previous high right here, right? Having put in so much space, it's very likely that the probabilities will favor a new daily uptrend, and very likely that this was your weekly higher low. Upside targets continuation here, guys. We're going to have to get up to 35.60, and then our coveted resistance area that we haven't been to since February. So just keep that in mind on financials. XLV Healthcare still tightening up here on the daily range. Healthcare as well, right? Healthcare net positive on the morning, but then giving it all back. That's perfectly fine. Bulls do control the higher time frames here, right? So we are just looking for a pullback. Healthcare in the same situation as financials, never really set the daily uptrend yet. What did we do? This was your daily move down, right? Daily downtrend. The bulls engulfed. So they engulfed. Now we have to set the daily uptrend here. Good moving averages as support, acting as support in the future here. So we do have some decent space to pull back, guys. Anything above 132.50 pretty much is just going to be looking for a daily higher low to set the daily uptrend. I don't think they'll be able to one-shot this. Even if they continue to pushing up tomorrow, you're going to run into some heavy resistance around the 136, 137 level here. So might need to two-step this, but looking good, guys. Weekly consolidation continues to tighten up. And I do think that this does have a bullish lean, especially if the rest of our markets continue to pull to the upside. Healthcare is set up even on the longer, even on the monthly, set up nicely for the monthly bull flag to potentially play out to the upside here. So keep an eye on that on healthcare, but bulls still with some work to do, need to set those daily uptrends. IWM Russell performing well, right? So IWM Russell, daily downtrend, lack of follow through on leg number 2 right here into engulfing move. Now the bulls, similar to healthcare and financials here, need to set the daily trend change, right? So decent little bounce going here for a few days in a row now. But now at this point, anything above 181.71 is going to be your higher low for the daily uptrend reversal here. You can see the bottom of my screen, MACD crossing above. MACD, guys, you'll see that I don't usually look at it that much except when I see the crossing patterns. RSI, don't even look at it that much unless we're either overbought or oversold. So these are kind of just complementary indicators to follow the analysis with. But I like it, guys. We're now back above the daily 200 EMA right here, which is this green line. So bulls with some decent space, I would like to see them set the daily uptrend. If they set the daily uptrend, then we can confidently say your weekly higher low is set. But weekly bounce, guys, I mean, with the size of this move, guys, weekly bounce is likely underway. I can't say, it's not technically correct for me to say that the weekly higher low is in without them setting the daily uptrend. Why? Because at any point, guys, bears can just reverse this into a daily downtrend, and that would just be your weekly potential further for a furtherance for a weekly downtrend continuation, right? So we were always looking for a 180.31 to be for a daily weekly higher low above 180.31, and the bulls are trying for it. But like XLF and XLV, we need to see the daily trend change, guys. So IBM Russell still with a bit of work to do. Dow Jones, same thing. Still have not set the daily uptrend on Dow Jones. So same thing, created a lot of space. Anything above 34,000 pretty much is going to be a setup for the daily trend change. Have some nice support level right here, right, that we've been basing ourselves off of. This is this massive area of support, which was previous resistance, of course. And we are trading above our moving averages. So we got some good confluence down here in this 34,500-ish pocket, right? So bulls are going to be able to use that. So if ever we pull back tomorrow for some reason, just looking for a daily higher low for a potential daily trend change. Why? Because we engulfed this move. So the bears have lost the daily downtrend. They have lost the daily downtrend, but the bulls have not set the daily uptrend. So we're kind of like in an in-between period on a few of our indexes here. So keep that in mind. If the bulls are able to set the daily uptrend, well, your weekly higher low is going to be set down here. But for now, we will just be waiting. What can the bulls do with it? Can the bulls make their way all the way up to the highs here? Would be nice. If we can do that, guys, we will be approaching all-time high area, but monthly looking absolutely beautiful for it, right? Very, very good performance by the monthly bulls. Now let's get on to Bitcoin here. Bitcoin can't even give us 2 green days in a row. Even after the SEC approval of the ETFs yesterday, Bitcoin can't even give us 2 green days in a row. Just goes to show you guys, when there's no news events, guys, nobody's playing crypto, right? So I had a very beautiful day yesterday. Bulls, a lot of work to do. Need to set our daily uptrends here. If we keep pulling back, right? You saw how it happens. 2 days of up, a million days of pullback, right? 1 day of up, million days of pullback. 3-4 days of up, million days of sideways, right? So I'm exaggerating here, but it just goes to show, guys, that there's no volume. That's why this is happening, right? On a weekly basis, you can see the volume here. There's no volume, unfortunately, right? So that's why it's just a few large players making a few large moves. There's not broad market participation as much as there was in 2020, 2021. That's why crypto is pretty much sidelined, but bulls, a lot of work to do. Still have to set the daily uptrends for us to even look at this chart. So now let's move on to Apple. Apple, monster day on Apple, confirming the daily uptrend and pushing further. It confirmed it yesterday and now pushing further, reinforcing that the bulls are now trying to control the daily. Anything above 176, it's just going to be looking for a daily higher low at this point for further continuation. Weekly bounce is definitely underway, guys. And look at the Apple bulls. Monster move. Put the fib on this. Already back 618, right? So already recaptured 62% of the move, which really, kills in some sorts the bear's chance of setting a weekly downtrend off this right away, right? So the bulls doing a great job here of saving this. But keep in mind, anything above 160 was always looking for the weekly higher low for potential continuation. So just like our indexes, is Apple going to be able to V-shape this and continue based off of this continuation of the weekly uptrend? Or are they potentially going to have to two-step it, right? Those are the likely scenarios in my mind right now. But now, with as much of this move taken back, guys, it's going to be so hard for the bears to reverse this, right? Can always be possible, but Apple looking good, starting to fill the earnings gap. Next area to look out for, guys, the 191, where the earnings gap started. That's the next target, so keep an eye on that. AMD bulls, another decent little day here on AMD. Nothing special, right? 0.63%, but at least not flushing. At this point, guys, bulls are kind of looking to reverse the daily trend. I need them to set a daily higher low above 99.87. Need for them to reverse the daily uptrend. And after that, I need them to get above 107. This little yellow line area here, need them to get back within this little range of consolidation right here. If they can do that, guys, then we are going to be looking fairly healthy on AMD. I will remind you, what are we looking for on AMD? We've been looking for the monthly higher low for a while now, right? So keep that in mind. It is a monthly confirmed uptrend. We are just looking for a monthly higher low. This is a monthly bull flag. So looking good. It is in the bulls' favor here. Bulls are looking to reverse. At the same time, looking to reverse this weekly downtrend here. They need to start step one. Step one, reverse the daily for me. and then we'll be able to look on the higher time frames. But AMD so far putting in some decent support here, still close to my sweet spot zone, and AMD across all semiconductors still representing some of the best risk reward, still being 35% off of the all-time highs. So keep an eye on that for AMD. Amazon also, you know, bit of a nothing burger day, right? So Amazon, what have we been looking for? Amazon still has not set the daily trend change. Still need the bulls to get above 136.71 to give me that daily trend change to the bulls. As of now, kind of just a consolidation range down here, right? Why we're struggling with between these two yellow bars. This was our big area of resistance previously. It's now acting as support, but now we're kind of trapped inside of it, right? So are we going to break below or break above? That's going to be crucial for the bulls, but I need to see them break this 136.75-ish area. Need to see them recapture this daily uptrend. On the weekly, though, looking very healthy. Anything above our levels down here, pretty much 126-ish, was always going to be a weekly higher low for continuation. If the bulls can reverse this daily into a daily uptrend, you will have your weekly higher low with this guy right here, and then we will be all confident to say, okay, the bulls are then needing to push towards the 142 area, but one step at a time. Need to first crack this, then your levels are established here. The gap down here has been pretty much filled, so I'm confident if the remainder of the market continues to push up, just a matter of time for Amazon to push up as well. And I was very, very, very happy and pleased with Amazon's earnings last quarter, so I would not be surprised, guys, if this stock continues to grind up, because there's really no negative catalysts that are plaguing Amazon right now. It's just kind of playing catch up to the rest of the market, and Amazon still decent amount off all-time highs, guys, right? Underperforming QQQ and SPY by a lot this year. Still almost 30% off all-time highs. Probably the big tech name with Meta that is the most off of all-time highs. Tesla as well, right? So keep that in mind for Amazon. We're going to go now down to Google. So Google here doing a great job. Google with another monster day here today, right? Bulls just continuing our daily uptrend at this point, right? So at this point, created so much space, guys. Anything pretty much above 128, this yellow line that's already on the chart is going to be for a daily higher low for further continuation to the upside, guys. Levels, resistance, 145 pretty much is your next target area of resistance that we're looking out for. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weekly uptrend continuation here. And if we do pull back here, guys, expect this level right here, the 133-ish, to act as very solid support. So I'm not nervous for the bulls at all. Google looking very well positioned for continuation at this point. It's going to take a broad market reversal to reverse Google, in my opinion, because if SPY and QQQ keep grinding up, Google will just grind up the levels like it's nobody's business, right? So Google, very, very, very nice technical setup here. Congratulations to anybody who was holding this stock. Obviously, my sweet zone is down here, but we've long passed that now. Now with the monthly, weekly, and daily trends in our favor, we have to look higher, and 145 is your next target. So we'll take it one day at a time, but tons of space for them to continue the daily uptrend. Meta also same as Amazon, right? Meta not able to change the daily trend yet, right? So daily downtrend confirmed. Bulls putting in some decent space, putting in barely the higher low compared to this low down here. Now, guys, we really need to crack 299.30, right? Need to crack this to give us the daily uptrend. When the daily uptrend is confirmed, this now becomes your weekly higher low in relation to all the way down here, 209, right? So if they do set the daily uptrend, can the bulls V-shape this? Yes, because look, like, keep this in mind, right, guys? If we take this bottom to top, look how much the bears have taken back of that move. Only 38%. So in that case, guys, you are very, very likely, well, not very, very likely, but the probabilities are in your favor that you could be able to V-shape this very easily. We'll see if they can V-shape this in one shot, or if they have to two-step it, something like the other companies we've been talking about. But first things first, need to set the daily uptrend here and grind higher. Obviously, if we lose down below here and flush the 276, well, your daily downtrend is going to continue into further weekly consolidation. But Meta as well, guys, I'm not too worried about Meta. Really no negative events plaguing the company right now. They've been doing very, very good cost control. Their profits are pretty much back to normal here, steadily increasing revenue, steadily maintaining and increasing subscriber count here. So really no red flags on Meta per se. And the technicals are looking good, but just need this daily uptrend for Meta. And now Microsoft just the same. Microsoft not setting the daily uptrend yet. Need a break of NVIDIA's post-earnings move. need a break of roughly 333 to confirm your daily uptrend. Confirm the daily uptrend. I'll be able to say the weekly higher low is set all the way down here at 311, right? We were looking for 275, right? I think above 275 was a weekly higher low. Now, Microsoft bears took back a lot of this move. So it's very possible if we do get our weekly upswing going here when they confirm the daily uptrend, right? It's very possible the bulls may need to take 2 steps for this instead of just reversing this in one clean shot, right? So we'll take it one day at a time here, but one thing's for sure, need to crack 333. And on the flip side, if the bears at this point crack 319, watch out because your daily downtrend will resume. And at that point, my sweet spot is down here. But Microsoft, no real red flags on Microsoft either. It's just that Microsoft's run a lot this year, right? And off of our new all-time highs, we're not even off that much, guys. We're maybe off like 10%, 11%. So decent setup here by Microsoft, but just like a few other names here, like we've just been mentioning, Meta, Amazon, right, need to set these daily uptrends in motion. NVIDIA continues to be an absolute monster, right? Up another percent here today, right? So very, very good job on NVIDIA maintaining the daily uptrend here by maintaining these lows down here at 450, crucial level, guys. One of two things is going to happen. We're either going to break 503 and just continue this daily uptrend like it's nobody's business. That would be the likely scenario here. We've already taken up a lot. Or the bulls are going to lose it. And if we flush 450, that would actually become a daily downtrend. So don't want to see it, but tons of space to be working with, guys. Look on this weekly, anything above 404, just for a weekly higher low for any pullback. And the weekly candle is looking decent. We'll see how Thursday and Friday close, right? But NVIDIA looking very, very, very decent. It's just tough for me to buy anything up here, but long-term NVIDIA should be very good. They gave some great guidance here for the next 2 to 5 years on the semiconductor and AI boom and their reason that they are increasing revenues over the next couple of years, right? On their earnings call. So still some decent amount of space here. Keep reminding you guys, right? 450 key level here, right? We can also tighten up, guys, so long as I don't want to see 450 being lost. We can tighten up and potentially accumulate for a further breakout, but bulls in a clear daily uptrend at this point. So we are looking higher, 503 for the resistance break. And now our last three, Tesla. Tesla here doing a great job of just maintaining gains here. Anything above pretty much 228 is just going to be for a daily higher low. We do have some moving averages as support down here around the 245-ish area, so we'll be looking out for those. But Tesla doing a great job of consolidating sideways, cooling off these lower time frames here. Resistance at this point, guys, is going to be firmly set at around 270, this whole area right here. And then we're all the way back to 300, right? Still a little gap from our earnings, so we'll take this one day at a time. But Tesla, nice weekly bounce underway here, guys. So we'll see when this daily uptrend tops out here, where the weekly can get us up to, but I'm looking very confident in Tesla here to continue to push higher, even if tomorrow and Friday we pull back. Tons of space to set a daily higher low and push higher. Tesla bulls looking good. Now, Palantir and PayPal. Palantir setting the daily uptrend. So here they are. The bulls are back, right? Weekly upswing is in motion, right? We're going to try to take it back as much of this move as humanly possible. That is the goal for Palantir bulls right now. But as of now, looking very, very, very good. Daily uptrend is set. Anything above 1392-ish is just going to be for pullback for a daily higher low for further trend continuation, nicely above the moving averages now. Next step on Palantir, take back as much of this move as possible. Your resistance levels are obviously all the way up here. Not much resistance was set here, so resistance still $20. And PayPal, lastly, PayPal looking good. PayPal still grinding higher ever so slowly. PayPal, not the type of stock to put in 6, 7, 8% days. Haven't seen them in a while here, but doing very, very good. We've now engulfed our previous leg down here entirely. Daily uptrend is in motion here. So at this point, anything above $60 is just going to be for a daily higher low, creating some decent space. Want to see them get in the 66 area to take back, start taking back as much of this weekly move as possible. Bulls still with a lot of work to do, but off to a decent start on PayPal, if I do say so myself. And the closer, obviously, we get here, the closer I can start selling covered calls on my assigned positions in this area here. So I like this, guys. I really like this. Need to see a bit more space before I'll be comfortable here, but bulls creating some nice ones here. So that's pretty much everything I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider dropping a like, consider subscribing to the channel. I always appreciate your guys' engagement. If you do have a question, please, please, please leave it for me down in the comments. Anything, stock analysis, what I think, options, and I'd be glad to answer you as usual. So I'll see you after the close. PCE numbers, inflation, keep an eye on that. Take care and peace.